Hey guys, it's Midnight here back for another video. Today we're going to do a review of the 2025 Chinese drama Shine on Me. The story follows the lively and energetic university student Nie Xi Guang as she steps out of campus and navigates the challenges of the professional world. During university, she experiences a bittersweet secret crush on the aloof yet brilliant top student Zhuang Xu. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. However, upon entering the workforce, she crosses paths with Lin Yu Sen, a former surgeon turned solar energy industry elite. Despite initial misunderstandings, Lin Yu Sen is irresistibly drawn to Nie Xi Guang's radiant and warm personality. With his unwavering love and support, she lets go of past regrets and embraces the love she has always longed for. Going into the characters, you have Nie Xi Guang. She is our rich main female protagonist. Even though she is rich, she is quite humble and low-key about her identity as someone who is rich, as her parents work in the same industry that she is working in as well. As much as I love Xi Guang's character, since she is really humbled as a rich character, and throughout the show you actually forget at times that she is rich. However, I do find her quite annoying at times due to how she handles a lot of the conflicts throughout the show. And last is Lin Yu Sen. He is our rich main male protagonist. Again, even though he is rich, it is sometimes easy to mistake him as well. I didn't know he was rich like that until he spent a lot of money on Xi Guang's outfit for his friend's wedding, and when it was constantly mentioned that he was a neurosurgeon. As much as I love his character, I just wish that he had more emotions at times and not so stoic. Moving on to the plot set storyline, you have the pacing. If you're not into slow burn romance, this is not for you. As someone who watches romance shows, no matter if they're slow burns or not, the pacing sucked. It literally took 20 plus episodes for Xi Guang and Yu Sen to kiss and become official. Not to mention the story dragged with many conflicts, like Xi Guang's father's mistress daughter uses her identity, which leads her into catfishing Yu Sen and causing him to get into a car accident. Xi Guang and her dad's estranged relationship, with him cheating on his wife, Xi Guang's mother, and Xi Guang's past crush on Zhuang Xu. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. There were so much filler scenes, like them talking about business and medical dialogue that last 30 minutes to an hour, that made me skip a huge chunk of the episodes. Next is the theme of the show. The amount of blatant misogyny in this show was crazy. However, it made sense with her father's ego and his ideals, with him wanting a woman to submit to him and not challenge him in the way that Xi Guang's mother did. Mr. Nai's mistress even had internalized misogyny by believing that she could be a good woman by submitting to a man and giving him what he wants and telling him what he wants to hear. And she even told her daughter the same thing. You even had Zhuang Xu, who felt beneath Xi Guang because she had money and that he needed to get into a good company, make good money so that he could measure up and take care of her. However, all of this was short-lived as he learned that he could never measure up, considering that Yu Sen was also rich and he was a neurosurgeon as well. Even a lot of the businessmen in the industry were also misogynistic, with them looking down on Xi Guang's mother for letting go of Mr. Nai and believing that women should stay in the kitchen. Next is Zhuang Xu. He is the very reason I do not believe in second male lead syndrome. I was so drained watching him blame Xi Guang for moving on. It was even more draining seeing some people empathize with him for some odd reason, as if this man didn't just allow his childhood friend Yurong to lie on her and even lie about their relationship. He sat back and didn't do anything to resolve the issue from when they were in college and in adult life. He even got mad once he found out that she moved on with Yu Sen. He purposefully threw wine on the outfit that Yu Sen bought her, and then gaslit and guilt tripped her for feeling bad for moving on. He knew that her and her family was going to the mountains. Finally, she stated her side of the situation and wanted to wash her hands of this situation. He wouldn't even let her go, and he chased her down the stairs outside of the building. He then grabbed her and proceeded to continue to gaslit her and blame her for lying to him about her and Yu Sen being together. Mind you, He says this twice, as if she ever said that they were dating in the beginning. Everyone in the friend group just assumed that her and Yu Sen were dating, that they were together. It was painful to watch as he grabbed her and proceeded to manipulate her and victimize himself, seeing how insecure he was about her being rich and successful. On the other hand, I hated how awkward they made Xi Guang look at times every time they were in the same room together. It just didn't scream believable that she had moved on from him. I don't know how I feel about him reflecting about the past and choosing not to say hello to her once her and Yu Sen have a child together. I think they were trying to have us pity him, which I won't do, considering that he was never a choice and he was so god awful. Next is Yudong. I was somewhat satisfied by her ending. She leaves her job that Xi Guang was going to inherit just by marrying Yu Sen, considering that Yu Sen's cousin was a terrible businessman, constantly upsetting their grandfather. I'm glad that she decided to leave the city because it was a sign of her moving on from the past. Considering that nothing really worked out for her, she was blamed for a lot of things that happened at work, and Zhuang Xu didn't want to be with her. At the end of the day, Xi Guang had the last laugh as Rong kept on taking cheap shots at Xi Guang's life plans to be disappointed when she realized that Xi Guang is rich and has endless opportunities. It just showed that she was insufferable moving to a whole new city so that she could be more important and have attention, which is why Xi Guang told her friend that she was in fact not concerned about her and she would be fine. Next is Mr. Nye's mistress and her daughter. I hated that for them to be a big part of the conflict in the story, their ending wasn't that satisfying the way that it was presented on screen. I hate the fact that Xi Guang and her father's mistress's daughter barely had screen time together besides the one time that Xi Guang was helping set up a business event, and she knows that her father's mistress's daughter was hanging out with a bunch of scammers. She was also never confronted for her using her identity, nor does Yu Sen confront her for catfishing him and causing the car accident. It was just like her and her mother's plan just ended up getting away with causing Yu Sen's car accident, even though Mr. Nye almost put his hands on her and scolded her for using Xi Guang's name. However, he still ends up spoiling her. With those issues, it just didn't let the story flow, considering that Xi Guang had barely had any interactions with her father's mistress and daughter. I also thought it was hypocritical of the daughter to blame her mother and call her selfish when she was just as selfish for not wanting to move back home, thinking about what everyone would say or would think, and using Xi Guang's name to try to pursue Yu Sen. And last but not least is Mr. Nye. As much as I hated him and I didn't like the way that his arc ended, considering that we don't know if he was able to mend his relationship with Xi Guang or not, especially when Xi Guang's mother said that she would settle the score with him after the hurt he caused Xi Guang before apologizing to her. Also, I do feel like Xi Guang was partially to blame for the conversation with her father. I don't understand how she went from, and I quote, "My mother had sole custody of me," end quote, to allowing her father to yell at her in the hospital like that. I didn't like how he constantly disrespected her, yet she allowed him to keep gaslighting her, saying that, and I quote, "Oh, you're my only daughter," end quote, as if that's supposed to mean something. It disgusted me knowing that Xi Guang had to work hard while his goddaughter with his mistress was given an allowance along with her mother. In conclusions, I would give this show a 3 out of 5. It wasn't bad. I would still recommend this since its ending. However, it was difficult to watch with them airing sometimes one episode at a time for a slow burn show, which honestly should be illegal. This show reintroduced me to Song Wei-long, so I'm happy to watch his shows after the disappointment of Beautiful Reborn Flower. Listen. Anyway, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please hit that bell notification for more uploads from me.